I take my boys to swimming lessons twice a week. And over the summer, we would go to the swimming pool and practice the things that they learned in their swimming class. I went up to the swimming pool by the I building. There were a lot of unsupervised children in there. There were first a couple of Samoan boys. They were under 18. They were not old enough to be there by themselves, but they were not causing problems to anybody, so I didn't mind. And then there were a lot of other children who also were unsupervised. These kids ranged from the ages of around 9 years old till the early teenage years. And let me just tell you that these kids, particularly a young boy, they were using so much profanity. I mean, it was shocking. I lost count of how many times I heard the F word coming out of a little child who was in elementary school. He was there with his sister, who I think was around 13 or 14 years old, and this boy who was cursing was also, teasing his sister and swimming underwater and grabbing her feet. And she was becoming really upset by it, and she started physically assaulting him. And when I say physically assault, I mean she just didn't playfully punch him, but she literally started wailing on him. I mean, it was like this: bam, 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 6, 7 times in a row. This teenage girl was punching her little brother. If there was an actual parent there supervising these kids, they would not have been cursing like that, and that kind of physical violence would not have been going on. I'm not sure if they came from the K building. It looked like it because I saw them heading up there on another day from that building, but I can't be certain about that. So I was, of course, really upset by that, and here I am with my 2 little children, and my 2 little kids, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, are hearing that kind of profanity coming from these unsupervised children. So then I'm thinking, well, they clearly have a sign that says pool pass required. Clearly, this company must be in some position of enforcing their own rules. So some person comes over, I don't know if it was a maintenance guy or a security guy. He walks over, he looks over the gate, rattles the fence a little bit, and then just walks away. Just literally walks away. And I remember I felt so incredibly angry by that because I thought, well, what he should be doing is physically entering the swimming pool and checking to see that there's actually mom and dad or somebody who is signatory on the lease supervising these kids. I think that what these particular parents did was just sent some older cousins or older siblings to supervise these younger children, which is completely inappropriate. Teenagers do not know how to respond in an emergency situation, and they don't supervise like that. So then what I did was I said, oh, okay, clearly the company does not give a crap that all these unsupervised children are here. Anything could have happened. So I went down to the other swimming pool, the one down by the fitness center. And there was a nice lady there who was there with her daughter, and I started talking with her a little bit, and she was very bothered by something, and that was a bunch of human hair floating at the bottom of the swimming pool. She was disgusted by it. She even reached out and pulled out a big lump of it and showed me. So I don't know what anybody was doing in there. What could a person be thinking? I'm going to go to the swimming pool for a haircut. I just took my kids and I left and I went home. Since I have 2 little children, I can't go down to the leasing office and complain about these things because really all they do is they play lip service. Blah, 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 thanks for letting us know, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of like Charlie Brown.
Yes, ma'am. What am I doing? Am I talking to myself? Yes, ma'am.
I wrote a letter, and in that letter I explained specifically the date and the time of the incident. You know what I heard from Wasatch Hills Apartments? Absolutely nothing. They did not even acknowledge receipt of the letter that I sent them. So history is repeating itself. They don't care, they don't respond, they don't fix anything. But here is the real problem. Rules like no one under the age of 18 in the fitness center, no one under the age of 18 without a supervising parent at the swimming pool. Basic codes of conduct. Rules have 0 value and 0 meaning when the company refuses to enforce those rules. When the pool is open, they go unlock the gate and that's it. Then when it's time for the pool to close, they go and they lock it. That is it. This company does not regulate in any way, shape, or form who enters the swimming pool. They don't have any staff there making sure that they're enforcing this quote-unquote pool pass rule. There's no such thing as a pool pass. People just come and go. And it's usually children who are not being supervised by their parents. These rules that they have are not being regulated. But moreover, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the clubhouse. I don't know, have any of you ever gone up there and seen it? I have. I've actually seen it, and it's very nice inside. It's very nicely furnished. You know, when I first moved in here, there were a few lies that they told me. They told me that there was a fitness center. Well, we know that there's not a fitness center. I had to make a YouTube video and take photographs in order for that fitness center just to be repaired. And even now, all the weight machines are not working because the incompetents at the office purchased the wrong weight set pins. But when we did the tour, the individual who conducted the tour specifically said that the clubhouse was not open yet, but that it was going to be open. And you know, I'm still waiting for that to happen. I telephoned the office not too long ago, and I spoke with someone on the phone, and I asked about the clubhouse. And I said, why isn't the clubhouse open? Oh, well, the clubhouse is not open because we don't have any security officers in there to staff it. That response got me to thinking. They want a security guard in the clubhouse to be there at all times, but they're perfectly fine having a fitness center and swimming pools completely open without any security guards there. So, ladies and gentlemen, and really I'm speaking to the residents right now, I think what I want to convey to you is that this company understands security as being something that really serves one function and one function alone, and that is the protection of their own property. That's why they didn't invest in cleaning up the fitness center until I took pictures and put it all over YouTube. It's because they don't care about investing in their own business. They don't understand that security is also supposed to be for and about the protection of the resident. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about those security cameras that are in the fitness center. Rumor has it that a while back, sometime after 9 p.m., a few people were robbed in the fitness center and the television sets were stolen. Now the fact is that I was not there when it happened. I didn't see it happen. But I did hear the story from a few different people. And then I also heard that the individuals who were robbed turned to the company to obtain the footage. Now if you go into the fitness center, you're going to see 3 cameras. I believe that all 3 of those cameras are fake. Here's the problem. Those fake cameras make a pretense. That pretense is this: you are being recorded. As such, you can rely on those recordings to provide some sense of security that if something happens to you, we're going to get the bad guy. We have the bad guy's image. The bad guy is being recorded. You have some protection. Everyone who leases an apartment here has the right to rely upon that pretense. All of us. When a company decides to put up fake security cameras, they're not lying to the bad guys. The bad guys are going to continue doing whatever it is they're going to do. They're lying to the residents. They're giving us a false sense of security. And we have the right to rely upon that sense of security. So let's talk a little bit about the clubhouse. Why isn't it open? Because they don't trust us. They think that we are going to steal and to damage their property. Now, I think that a lot of the damage that goes on is really kids that are doing it. It's unsupervised kids. Right? So if you keep out the unsupervised kids, you know, you're not going to have the damage. That's what I think. You know, frankly, perhaps I could be wrong about that. I admit freely that I could be wrong about that. So why doesn't this company invest into some kind of security system that's going to regulate who enters the fitness center and the clubhouse and the swimming pools all at the same time? It's going to be a financial investment, and I think that Wasatch Hills Apartment functions as a cash cow of bringing money in, and they don't care about dispensing money for the betterment of the community or the residents who live here. That's my personal opinion. I have to be fair. After I did publish the last YouTube videos and the photographs, they did clean up the fitness center. They did fix a treadmill and a bike. They didn't invest in any new equipment. They didn't take down those fake cameras, even though I told them that those cameras were fake. They didn't get a remote control for the television set so that any of us could even access that. I'm not quite sure. You know, I'm still kind of on the fence. Does this company, you know, really care about the people that they are making money from? I'm not quite sure. So I think that really the best way to determine whether or not they give a crap about these problems is for us as residents to make a request of Wasatch Hills Property Management. We need to request that Wasatch Hills Property Management invest into a proper security system. And please take note of many of the images which I'm posting in this video. These images come from the Renton Police Department, and they show a lot of the crime statistics in the area. This area is a pretty high crime area. So that in itself means that this company knows that there's an increased risk of crime to the person and to the property in this area. Okay, so what is a proper security system? A proper security system means that first and foremost they're going to take down all of the fake security cameras. They're going to install real surveillance cameras, cameras that will record activity for 2 full weeks. That they will install proper door alarms, a proper paging system, so that if a door is left open too long, it's going to automatically page the security officers. A new key system, a universal key system, so that all residents who have a lease here and have paid for their key can access the fitness center and the swimming pools and the clubhouse. And it will give the company a very simple way of regulating who enters each facility and what's going on in the facilities. So I think that there is a widespread problem here of false advertisement. They advertise on the website that we have a clubhouse. It says stylish clubhouse right there on the website. But what they're not saying on the website is that it's a stylish clubhouse that nobody, and I mean no resident, is allowed to access. For me personally, I mean that's like I'm very offended by that. I would never even think of going into someone else's property and stealing or destroying anything. This Halloween, I wanted to actually put on a little Halloween party. And in normal apartment complexes, you can go and say, hey, can I use the clubhouse, from this time to this time? And they say, sure, no problem. They plan it, it's scheduled. In other apartment complexes in this community, you can do that. You can. Here, there's no Halloween party for the kids because nobody's allowed in there. But their website says that there is, in fact, a stylish clubhouse. I think that we need to ask the management to fix all of the problems here. The website says that they have 2 swimming pools and 2 jacuzzis. Guess what? They only have 1 jacuzzi. The other jacuzzi is a garbage dump. I kid you not. If you've been to the swimming pool up by the clubhouse, have you ever seen that jacuzzi? It's full of garbage. And if, unfortunately, I don't have any photographs of it. I didn't think in advance to take any pictures. But if you've been up there and if you've seen it, please leave a comment in the video description box and back me up on this. Nobody's allowed in there. Nobody. Now, why are they saying on the website that there are 2 jacuzzis when there's not? Why are they saying that there's a clubhouse when there's not? And why are they saying that there's a fitness center when right now all the machines don't work because the incompetents purchased the wrong weight stack pins, because they allow kids to go in there, because they don't regulate and they don't enforce their rules? It's widespread false advertisement that's been going on. And it's not just myself who's a victim, but every other person here. If you looked at that website before you signed your lease, guess what? You're a victim of false advertisement. That's not only us, but it's the people who lived here before. So I think it's perfectly reasonable and very, very fair for us to just turn around and say to this company, listen, you've done things wrong. We're not going to, be all pitchfork, rabble, but we're just going to specifically ask for certain things. Of course, we must remember that based on the fact that they have incompetent people that don't even know how to order weight stack pins and install them properly, that it follows that they're not going to know how to install a proper security system. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the details of what is a proper security system. And this is just my idea of what should be done here. Granted, I'm not a security expert. I could be making a lot of mistakes. But this is where I do need feedback from the other residents. If I'm making a mistake, let me know. I don't censor comments. I'm very much an anti-censorship kind of person. So please leave your comment and go on to the next video where I'm going to be making a specific proposition for a security system.